Buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches. Saludos a todos los que se conectan desde diferentes latitudes. Y como bien saben, pues, gracias a Dios ya tenemos franquiciados en idioma inglesa, anglosajones, franquiciados de Trinidad y otros países que hablan solo inglés. Y bueno, vamos a estar dando la escuela tanto en español como en inglés. Ya esta escuela la acabamos de dar en español, la pueden ver en mi canal YouTube de Inmobiliaria, perdón, de Miguel Farro Oficial, en la parte del podcast del sistema educativo de Inmobiliaria Farro. Pero ahora la vamos a dar en inglés y hoy estamos hablando de fondos de inversión. Real Estate Investment Funds. This is the topics that we are going to speak today. Today, I am celebrating my wedding anniversary with a cup of wine, doing the thing that I love to do that is work for you guys in our real estate company. So a real estate investment fund is a type of fund composed primarily of residential or commercial property assets that generate return of investment. These funds include real estate assets such as home or commercial premise for sale or rent. So you can make money buying in a cheap price this property and selling in a bigger or higher price, and also you can make money rent the property. There is a mutual funds are comprised solely of stocks. In fact, mutual funds can invest in a variety of assets class, including but not limited to fixed income, cash, and no traditional income vehicles such as alternatives. So you can make a crowdfunding investment fund or whatever you want. I recommend real estate because it's a strong business. How is real estate fund structured? It's simple form. A real estate private equity fund, a partnership form to raise capital for ongoing real estate investment. A general partner, in our case, we have made already two investment funds. We are the general partner in Brazil. We make the first investment fund about 3 years ago with apartment of the Get By Side, naming what the develop, and we make 39% of profit in 2 years. Now we buy another new apartment. Now we get 20% of profit in their first year. Maybe in the second year we're going to make more than 40%. So a general apartment hereafter refer to the sponsor, establish the fund. The sponsor solicit investor known as a limited partner to invest the partnership capital. You know what I mean? So maybe you don't have enough money to make invest for yourself, but you can join to investment fund in order to make this investment with a lot of partners. How do real estate funds work? Most real estate investment funds charge investor fees for service that include negotiating the price of acquiring assets, creating the marketing material and legal document, raising capital, managing the property, daily operation, developing and executing the business plan, and reporting to investor. For example, in our crowdfunding or investment fund, we charge 10% for our fees in order to get everything under control. What is the real estate crowdfunding? It's very similar to the investment fund, but you can join with less money. Crowdfunding is participatory financing from a small investor has arrived in the real estate sector. For a little as 50 bucks euros or 100 bucks US dollars, you can participate in a project through a digital platform that act as intermediaries between the developer and the investor. You know, in Faro Real Estate, we make something similar. We make an investment fund ourselves with our private contract, but we have the same benefit of the crowdfunding because you can join only with $100 in advance. So, how owns a mutual funds? The biggest misunderstanding about mutual funds is that the investor owns the fund share. This is not the case. Investor own the fund shares, not the underlying investment. because maybe you have an investment fund with a lot of properties and you're going to be owner of your participation if one uh, develop, but not in all. At least you make invest in all the develop that the investment fund have in that moment. What are the main characteristics of investment fund? First of all, economies of scale. You're going to make investment in a strong business, and you finally get the profit for that. Professional management. You have to do with a professional company that have experience in that. For example, we have more than 43 years in the real estate business. We have more than 8 years in franchise business, and we have more than 5 years in the investment fund business. That give us the liquidity, diversification, transparency. We we make the crowdfunding in every social network in our webpage. Everybody can know how much money we make the first portion, and how much money we sell, and the 10% of our fee in order to get the management of the investment fund. And flexibility, because we have investors who only give us $100, another investor give $1,000, $10,000. There is some investor who pay some quote by month, and there are others who make only one payment. Is a lot of flexibility in that case. Advantage of the investment fund. The main advantage of the real estate investment fund is that they allow a regular income without having to directly manage the property. Depending of the type of fund, investor can earn monthly income or profit from property appreciation. If you invest an investment fund to rent, you're going to receive every month a cash flow. If you are going to invest in investment fund for sale, you're going to receive the profit when the invest sold the property. Appreciation, income stability is a strong business. Low volatility. Maybe you can invest in another kind of business, but there is no any business as strong as a real estate. That's why we have a low volatility and protection against the inflation. This advantage of a mutual fund, the mutual funds may have management fees and other associated expense that can reduce the net return of your investment. That will give you a less liquidity depending on the type of fund. There may be restriction on when and how you can withdraw your money. For example, in our mutual funds, we charge only 10% of fee, but you cannot request the money. You have to wait that we sell the property, because we purchase the property together and we sell the property together. Maybe you can find another partner who paid your invest, but maybe we can return you only the invest that you do. But if you want to have some profit, you have to wait maybe 1 or 2 or 3 years. That it will be depend on the develop the time that we need in order to sell the property. In short, it is much better to invest in a mutual fund and receive an average of 15 or 20% annual return of your money than to save it in a bank, where you will only get this at least 7 or 10% return of your capital. So maybe if you make investment in an investment fund or mutual fund or crowdfunding, maybe you can have a 10% per year, but also you can receive a rent of the property. So maybe if you make a return of investment or 5 years, and also you make a 10% per year, so you will have 200 more that you invest in 5 years. For example, if you invest $100,000, maybe in 5 years you will be receive $300,000. If you invest, for example, $1 million, maybe in 5 years you will receive $5 million. So it's the best way to increase your money without work. There is not the better way to make money as a company. as entrepreneur. But if you wanna make some invest without work, maybe you have some income and you have some save money, it's better that you put in the investment fund, or mutual fund, or crowdfunding that the bank. That is the best way to increase your money. So that will be everything for today. Thank you very much to everybody to get connection. I hope see you next week. Enjoy the rest of the night. Thank you very much. Bye bye.